back, it's Shay. It has been such a long time since I filmed, probably like 2.5 months, and it's true what people say when they take breaks from filming, that like they feel like they're rusty or out of practice, which is weird to be out of practice from talking, but for me it's very, very true, especially since I'm a very quiet person just in everyday life. So to like sit here and talk for like a really long time, like continuously, it's weird. It's definitely weird to be so out of practice, but it is good to be back. I took a little unplanned and really just unannounced hiatus. I didn't really, it wasn't something that I planned on doing. It was just I had a lot of personal stuff going on in my life that I kind of just wanted to just deal with and kind of just be in the moment, and I really just didn't feel motivated to film at all. And I know that I personally have seen people when they film and they're not in a good mood, it really shows on their face, and I didn't want to just film for the sake of filming, for the sake of getting videos up and getting comments. Like I wanted to actually like be in a really good place when I filmed, and I feel like after like this past 2.5 months I'm finally in that really, really good place. And I feel like it has a lot to do with what this video is about. And if you've seen the title, yes, I am officially vegan, and it took me a really, really long time to kind of come to this kind of conclusion that this was right for my life. And I really, really wish that I would have been in the mood to film like 10 weeks ago when I made this decision, because then I could have like really shared my plans on everything, and then I could have shared like how those plans completely went to shit now. Like seriously, I had all of these plans and then everything just completely changed, but I'm still going to share like what my initial plans were and then what has changed, because I think it can be really helpful for people who are maybe thinking about going into veganism or just aren't sure about it. Because what really, really helped me like more than anything was watching YouTube videos. Even though I wasn't filming, I was watching probably more videos than I've watched in a really long time. Anytime I got free time, anytime Josh was occupied, anytime I had finished doing stuff with my mom, I had finished work, I was watching videos on veganism, like what I eat in a day, vegan videos. I was watching recipe videos. I was just watching just so many videos on this subject, and that really kind of cemented my decision to do this. And so first I'm going to share like what my plan was, and then I'm going to share my reasoning behind going vegan, and I'm going to do that last or second because that's going to be like the bulk of the video. The whole point is like why I went vegan, but I first wanted to share my plans because I actually think it's kind of funny. So about 10 weeks ago is really when I really just like sat down and I was like, I had made the decision that that next day, or I was going to go shopping like that next day, and that next day was going to be like the day that I started. And my plans were basically, because I have been a meat and dairy eater for 31 years of my life, and dairy was something that I consumed multiple times a day, and meat was something that I consumed at least once a day, maybe even 2 or 3 times, because if like I had like breakfast, I would have sometimes bacon and eggs, and then for lunch I would maybe have like chicken and rice, and then for dinner I'd maybe have like a chicken salad or a steak. Like I ate a lot of meat and dairy, so I knew it was going to be hard for someone like me, because I loved what I ate, because I mean I grew up on it. I mean, when you're a baby, like the first thing you get to drink is like milk, right? Even though, you know, it's breast milk, and you eventually graduate to drinking cow's milk, unless of course you have any kind of allergies, and then you're fed like baby food with meat in it, and it's kind of just like ingrained into you that, you know, you're supposed to eat meat and dairy. And I kind of had all these misconceptions that like, you know, animals were put on this planet for us to eat, and because I have like issues with, you know, low iron and stuff like that, that I needed that meat. So I knew it was going to be hard. So my initial plan about 2.5 months ago was that I was going to start with the easiest thing, cutting out the easiest thing, which was red meat. So like ground beef, hamburgers, steaks, all that stuff. And I'm going to cut that out. And then about 2 weeks later, I was going to cut out like seafood, all seafood. I figured that would be fairly easy, because really the only seafood that I really ate was like salmon and shrimp. And while I did love my salmon, and actually salmon is really good for you, I figured it wouldn't be too hard. And then probably 2 weeks after that, the last thing I would cut out as far as in the meat category would be chicken, because I loved, well at the time, I love chicken. I mean, like so much. I ate chicken all the time, so I thought that would probably be the hardest thing, and I thought that there would be probably about 2 weeks between each thing, and then in that time I would kind of start cutting out dairy little by little, or finding replacements. Like my big thing was that I was gonna find replacements for everything that I ate, like you know, like soy meat and chicken and stuff like that, and I was gonna find like nut-based milk and maybe like some faux cheese and stuff like that. I kind of wanted to just do replacements. That lasted for 2 days. When I woke up the 3rd day, I honestly felt sick to my stomach. I could not just fathom the idea of like drawing this out for like a month and a half. there was like no way I was gonna do that. So I woke up on the third day and I was like, yep, that's it, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So anything that I had in the fridge that was dairy, you know, obviously went to my mom, and anything that was meat that was like good and natural, we kind of put to the side and we saved. And then like little by little, over like 2 months, we just like cooked up little portions of it and mixed it in with the dog food just so it wouldn't go to waste. Like that was a big thing. Like I didn't want to like waste all this money that I just spent on groceries, like meat and dairy and stuff like that. So anything that could be salvaged and given to the dogs, we put aside, and anything that would just, I really didn't feel comfortable giving to the dogs, I went ahead and just threw away on principle, because I just woke up that third day and it was like, what are you doing? It was kind of like if I was like drawing out like a breakup, like if I was in a relationship with meat and dairy and I was just drawing it out, and it was just gonna get harder and harder like the longer I held on, you know, because it was like, oh, maybe I can just draw out chicken one more week and milk one more week, and it's like I was never gonna get there if I didn't just say like no, like that's it. So for 2 days I ate as much, I guess, meat as I could, but honestly I only really ate like once a day, so there wasn't a lot of meat going on, because my plan was, while I was cutting these things out, to have at least 1 vegan meal per day. And those 2 vegan meals that I had in those 2 days were enough for me to be like, yeah, like I can do this, I can totally do this. So that third day I was like, and that was it. So pretty much my reason for doing all this, for completely like switching my diet and my lifestyle and going vegan, breaks down into 2 categories, and I think they're pretty much the same 2 categories that like everybody who goes vegan kind of goes through, or kind of like bases their decision upon. And the first reason would be my health. And if you've been following me for a really long time, or you know me in person, or you're a friend of mine, you know that I have a lot of health issues. I was born actually a pretty sick baby. I was wanting to like make this a whole separate video, but I figured I'm just gonna squish this into this video because it really like pertains to like why I'm changing my diet and my lifestyle. Basically, I was born like not like super healthy. I think by the time I was like 3 months old, my mom was taking me to the pediatrician like every 2 to 3 months, and it was always issues with my lungs. I was always having issues breathing. I was always wheezing. I was always coughing. Like you guys notice that I always cough in my videos. I would do the exact same thing when I was a baby. My mom would take me to the pediatrician like probably like every like 8 to like 12 weeks. I mean, it was like really often. Like even when I was little, like once I got obviously more aware, I remember that place so vivid, like going into that pediatrician's office so many times, and every single time they went in there, it was like, she's got bronchitis, she's got upper respiratory, so they would give me antibiotics. So I was on antibiotics probably from the time I was 3 months old until the time I was about 9 or 10, and by that point my mom had kind of had a mental breakdown, and she was just honestly sick and tired of like this pediatrician just saying she's got bronchitis. Like a kid can't have bronchitis like every 3 months for like 10 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. And all of these antibiotics that were put into my system suppressed my immune system so bad, to the point to today I get sick like at a drop of a hat. Like seriously, like if there is somebody in a grocery store that has a cold, by the time I get home the next day, like I wake up, I will have that cold. My immune system is so bad. Like when I used to post like my old vlogs that have since been deleted, like I would say, oh, I'm sick, and then like a week later I'd be like sick, and like I'm sick again, and people would be like, why are you always sick? That's why my immune system was severely suppressed because of all of those antibiotics that I was given when I was little, to the point now where like I can't get over things without antibiotics. My body like doesn't have its own antibodies. Like I've never was able to get sick and get over it enough to like where my body actually knows how to get over things. So basically when I was 10 years old, my mom kind of got fed up with, oh, I got itchy nose, with my pediatrician, and she basically was like, you know what, it's so many words, like, F you, dude, I'm tired of you just like casting her aside and saying like she's got bronchitis, she's got respiratory infections. So she took me like right to the ER. I actually remember that day going like right from the pediatrician's office, like her having a freaking meltdown, like getting my records, taking me to the ER, and like I was in the ER, I don't even know, not that long, maybe 20 minutes. The doctor looked at me, looked at my mom, he did like a breathing test, and he was like, yeah, she's got asthma. And because I went 10 years undiagnosed for asthma, I was not given the opportunity to outgrow it. Like a lot of kids who are born with asthma, they outgrow it like really quickly into their life. So I was not able to outgrow it. So I still have pretty bad asthma to this day. I also have had allergies my entire life. I've been allergic to pretty much everything. Like when I went in to get an allergy test, you know, they do all those little pokes on your back they put like different allergens to see what you're allergic to. I think there's like 40, and I think out of 40 I was allergic to 39. My entire back was like one big welt. It was horrible. So when I say I'm allergic to everything, I'm actually allergic to everything. So it's like nasal wise and it's like skin wise. Like I get hives and I also get like sniffly all the time. And I was also born, holy crap, there's mosquitoes, oh my god, and flies in here every time we open the back door, because we're in the south in summer. Every time we open the back door, like something flies in, so we try to keep the back door closed as often as possible. Anyway, so I was also born anemic, and I also on top of that have a genetic blood disorder, and I was also born with, I'd say, a mild to moderate case of scoliosis. So that's why if you see like me hunched over all the time, it's because that was never fixed when I was a kid. Also, since becoming like a teenager to an adult, I also have endometriosis. I'm hypoglycemic. I've got diverticulitis. I've got 2 to 3 compressed discs in my middle back. And yeah, I pretty much get sick all the time, and I'm probably leaving something out that I have. I know I have issues with heat and everything, but yeah, like I'm sick like all the time because of my immune system being suppressed, and I also have issues with gluten. But I'm pretty sure you guys knew that. Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot of like health issues, like for somebody who's like so young, well, relatively young. I mean, I'm not like 6 years old. So that was one of the reasons I felt like my body was just kind of screaming at me like, hey dude, like you gotta change something. Like you tried going gluten-free and that worked for a really long time, but it doesn't seem to be working anymore. And I've always said for the longest time that I have issues with lactose, and I have issues with just like milk and stuff. So I figured I would give it a try. I mean, it's like one of the most healthy diets that you could possibly go on. And even though I'm not going on a diet, it's going to be like a lifestyle. It's going to be literally changed my entire life. I wanted to help my body, and I am not doing this whatsoever to lose weight. Do I want to lose weight? Of course, but I want to do it naturally. It's not a diet. I want just my body to be healthy, and I think the healthiest my body could possibly be is going vegan. So that's the first reason. And the second reason, I think, is probably the reason why pretty much everybody who's ever gone vegan has gone vegan, and it's because of the animals. I have been an animal lover and advocate since I probably could walk. I could crawl. I was the kid who was always like, if I found like a stray dog or a stray cat or an animal outside, I would literally put it underneath my shirt and sneak it inside, and my mom would always pretend like she didn't know, but of course there's like meowing and barking coming from my room. I was always a huge animal lover. Even just the other day, my mom and I were like talking about like what would we do if we had, all of a sudden we just got like a bunch of money like dropped upon us, and I said that I've always wanted to like buy like a huge plot of land, like a farm, but not like a farm, basically like an animal sanctuary. Like if I find stray dogs, I'd bring them there, or if I want to go around to all the kill shelters and basically just adopt every animal and bring them there and just kind of have them live there and foster them, and then be able to adopt them out myself to loving people. And she was like, you know, that's funny because when you were really little, you said the exact same thing. So I've been an animal lover my entire life. I've rescued so many animals. I've taken in stray dogs and then like put up, you know, flyers online and stuff like that, and then returned them to their owners. And if they didn't have an owners, I adopted them out to other people. And we obviously have 4 dogs right now. And the only reason why we only have 4 dogs is because this house is so small. If our house were bigger, we would definitely have more dogs. So I've been an animal lover my entire life. I've had every kind of animal you can like possibly imagine. Dogs, cats, gerbils, hamsters, fish, obviously, rabbits, ferrets, any pretty much kind of reptile. Well, not reptiles, what are they called? Rodents. I've had turtles. I've had lizards. I do not like snakes. I will save them, but I don't want them in my life. I can't deal with snakes, but I will save them. That's why I'm like 100% against like people who like take freaking like the skin off of snakes to make like snake skin shoes. Like, get your shoes from Payless, dude. Calm the fuck down. Anyway, so I've been a huge animal advocate for like my entire life, and it took me a really long time to get to the point where like the videos that I've seen online of like dairy farming and like slaughterhouses really like kind of sunk in from my brain, and it went like past my heart and like into my soul. Like, and I absolutely understand why it takes people so long to get to this point. It took me a really long time it's like I knew what I was doing. Like every time I ate meat, it's not like I was completely oblivious. It's not like I thought that these chickens or cows came from like a place where like these people like tucked them in at night and read them a story and like bottle fed them and pet them. I knew the reality of where these animals were coming from, and it honestly doesn't matter if it was coming from this organic, grass-fed, like loving, like local farm, or if it was coming from someplace like a Tyson, like mass-produced like factory, because it doesn't matter if you love the animals or if you're just like putting them in these little cages just to die. The end result is still the same, you know? And the end result is death. And I just can't do that anymore. Like I just can't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. Like I started watching these videos and I almost started like shaking. Like it got to the point where I was like, what the hell are you doing with your life? Like what are you doing? Like you've spent like 31 years like contributing to the murder of animals. And yeah, I'm not a farmer. I'm not a dairy farmer. I'm not someone who works directly on the lines, milking cows, slaughtering cows. I don't package the meat. I don't sell the meat, but I bought the meat and I consume the meat. So I'm directly contributing to, you know, animals being killed. And it just, it got to a point where I was just, I couldn't do it anymore. And I love animals. Like I love cows. I wanted like a baby pig for like my entire life. And I'm just like, every time you like fry up a piece of bacon, you're like killing a baby pig. And it started to get to me in a really deep way. And I know that like vegans, especially vegans on YouTube, get a bad rap, and honestly for most of them rightfully so. I don't agree with the way a lot of vegans go about things. I believe that their message and their hearts are in the absolute right place, but the delivery of that message is really what loses people. Like I don't believe in the kind of people who who do YouTube videos where it's like insert username here is killing animals, and then they show that person like at McDonald's and they overlay it with like images of like, you know, farming and factory farming and dairy farming, which by the way, those videos 100% I agree with. I believe they need to be seen often, and they need to be seen by as many people as possible. But I don't believe in calling people out like that personally, because I think a lot of vegans in their quest for animal rights and just like trying to save animals, they forget about the compassion that they should also have towards their fellow human beings. And that's something that I just don't agree with, and I really just don't like when people call people out like that. I think it's just not the right way to go about it. I've seen a couple of people now sort of like challenge YouTubers, like saying, hey, so-and-so, I challenge you to go one day vegan or go to this vegan restaurant. And that I think is really productive, because you're actually like giving someone, you're giving someone a challenge, you're giving someone an opportunity. For one, they get to make a video about it, so they get to make money off of it, which is never the right thing, but you know, if it gets someone into veganism, then it really doesn't matter how they start. And it really shows someone that, hey, you know, veganism isn't just about eating lettuce all day. Like there are so many options. There's so many options. I had no idea how many options there were in a vegan diet and a vegan lifestyle until I actually tried it for myself. And I'm eating so much better than I ever was eating meat and dairy. Seriously, I'm enjoying my food so much. I'm looking forward to getting up and making my meals. I am cooking so much more than I ever have. I'm in the kitchen so much more, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Not only just being able to experience this and knowing that, you know, I'm learning things, I'm learning how to cook more, I'm learning new recipes, but I'm also cooking without killing animals. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not like harming like living creatures, beautiful living creatures. And it took me so long to get to this point, and I'm about to sneeze. I'm not crying, I'm about to sneeze. I feel like coming on, it's gonna come on, but it just took me so long to get to this point. And honestly, during my time away from YouTube, this is all well, not all I've been doing, but a lot of my focus has been on this. Okay, maybe it wasn't a sneeze, maybe it just was a sniffle, but I have been like so excited about this, and it's been so exciting knowing that like I'm changing the world. Because you're one less person hurting animals, and that's like, it means a lot to me to know that. And if one person watches this and says, hey, if she can do it, who's someone who's been eating meat for 3 decades and dairy, then maybe I can try it. That would be amazing. And then maybe if that one person makes a video, and then one person, and then before you know, we've got thousands and millions of people who are vegan. And And yes, I will continue to spread the vegan message and the message of just like loving animals and treating them like you would, you know, human beings. But I also want you to treat human beings like human beings. Just don't call people out. It's just not nice, and it's just not the right thing to do. And I think there's a right and a wrong way to spread the message, and a lot of people on YouTube are just spreading it the wrong way, and that's why they get so many people that are against them. I mean, I don't agree with like going into attack anybody whatsoever. Do not attack anybody on YouTube. Do not leave them hateful comments, because that's just, you're just furthering the cycle of being a jerk, you know? Because you're leaving them a hate comment, and then someone's gonna see that hate comment and leave you a hate comment, and then someone's gonna fight with them, and then what are you gonna do? That literally, you accomplish nothing. So just don't leave them any hate comments. Just kind of maybe remind them that as much compassion as they have for animals, they should have for human beings, and there is a right and a wrong way to go about spreading the message. And I want to be someone who spreads it the right way. I want to show you guys my grocery hauls, which, by the way, I have, well, oh my god, I can't even do fingers, 8 of them filmed so far. I have 8. I started from the very beginning. I have the very first grocery haul that I did before I technically even started, because I needed the groceries to start going vegan. So I have 8 of them filmed. So I have been filming, I just haven't been filming like sitting in front of the camera. So I'm probably gonna post one of those a week until I get caught up into real time. So you guys can see like my struggles from like the very beginning, and then how I slowly start eating way better and more like plant products and less like imitation meat and stuff like that, because that was like what I was most concerned about in the beginning. Like I said, was like getting replacement products, but I've gotten so much better, and I'm so much happier just eating like plant-based now. So I want to do that through grocery hauls. I want to make recipe videos. Honestly, recipe videos, like what I eat in a day, vegan videos have been like the biggest part of my life over the past like 10 weeks. I love them so much. I've subscribed to so many vegan YouTubers. I've started posting like vegan meals on my Instagram, which is the Ginger Mommy Diaries. So yeah, I guess that was everything that I wanted to say. This is like, what, 26 minutes long? Holy crap. Well, it's been a really long time since I filmed, and this is a really important video, and I'm not doing this again for views. Absolutely not. I'm not doing this for like a fad diet. I'm not doing this to lose weight. I'm not doing this just to be like in the in crowd. This is absolutely 100% something that I'm just so passionate about. I'm just like so into it. I'm like, so this is like such a huge thing in my life, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm currently trying to get my mom to go vegan. She's been like little by little replacing things, so I'm hoping I can do that, and eventually I hope I can start little by little replacing Josh's things. But you guys know that, like, if you guys don't know me, I have a son, Josh. He's 7 and he has autism, and he has really bad sensory processing issues with food. He barely eats anything as it is, and the foods that he does eat are obviously not vegan. Actually, one I think is, but you add milk to it, so I've been kind of slowly adding a little bit more of almond milk than regular milk, and I would love if I can get him like even like 50% vegan, like just milk, like just switch his milk to almond milk. It's so much better for you. It tastes so much better than regular milk. It's cheaper than regular milk. It's so much better for you. So I would love if I can just like replace that for him, and also for my mom. But as of right now, I am the only vegan member of my family. I know that's the case for a lot of people, and even if you're like a teenager, you're living at home, and it's okay to be the only vegan in your family. I know I've seen a lot of people on like a bigger YouTubers channels, like their videos saying, I really want to go vegan, but I still live with my parents, blah blah blah. Like, just like, if they're gonna buy milk anyway for you, they'll say, hey, can you buy me this almond milk? Or instead of buying this chicken, can you buy this like faux chicken? Or can you buy me some lettuce and fruits and veggies and stuff like that? I know it can be hard, especially if you don't have your own money, and I absolutely, like, I know that, because when I was living at home, I had absolutely no control over the groceries or anything like that. So, but you know, just start, if you can just start slowly, just like replace like one thing in your life, one dairy product with like a non-dairy product, or a plant-based or a nut-based product. It's a start. And like, if you have any questions, I know I'm not like an expert on this by any means. I've only been doing it for 10 weeks, but leave them down below. I would love to talk to you guys about it. And if you are vegan and you just want to chit chat in the comments, let me know. Just comment down below, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because I am going to be posting a lot of vegan related videos, because this is like a huge thing in my life now, and I want my channel to reflect things that I'm interested in my life, you know? Like, I'm still interested in beauty, but this is probably the first time I put makeup on in 2 months, because, you know, it's hot. But I want to post more beauty videos, and of course, oh, speaking of beauty, very, very soon after this, I'm going to be going through all of my makeup and doing like a cruelty-free declutter. I'm going to start with cruelty-free because I know that products that are vegan are obviously going to be cruelty-free, but not the other way around. So I'm going to start doing like a declutter, and I'm going to keep some products because I feel like a lot of products, if I already own, and the damage is kind of already done. But I don't want to get into that right now. That's going to be a whole separate video with my like vegan makeup declutter, and eventually I want to have like my entire makeup collection be 100% vegan. I want my entire life to be 100% vegan. I'm pretty sure all the clothes I own are, because I don't own like leather or silk or any of those like expensive things. I'm just like a good old cotton girl. So I'm going to go through everything pretty much little by little, nail polishes, hair products, and just pretty much just make my entire life vegan. But as of right now, my diet and the meals I eat are totally 100% vegan, and honestly, I've never been happier, and I feel like I'm talking a lot, and I don't want to talk in circles. That was really important when I was trying to like think about what I wanted to say. I didn't want to talk in circles, even though it's been like 29 minutes. Oh no. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions or anything, leave them down below. I'm happy to be back. Like I said, I'm gonna be posting one grocery haul probably a week just to get current, because I have 8 right now filmed. So, you know, and I'm probably gonna be going to the grocery store again next week, so that'll be 9. So I'm gonna start posting them like really soon after this video, and then I'm also gonna be posting my makeup declutter. So those will be the next videos coming up if you wanna go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss them. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.